right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar session. I want to promise you and want to assure you that this is going to be an insightful webinar, and we want to also let you know that we've done a webinar series on mitigating cyber threat with ManageEngine Solution, series 1 last year, and so this is just the series 2. And most times our presentation of our webinar topic are based on the let me put down the frequent requests we get from our partners. So that's why we actually focus on endpoint central, right? So my name is Henry. I'm the channel manager for ManageEngine Solution Nigeria, and also I have my colleague Amaka. She's going to be the one to Anrika. She's going to be the one to be anchoring the aspect of the endpoint central. But meanwhile, I'm going to proceed with this session of the webinar. So, and Tranta IT, as you all know, is an IT company, so which has commenced and established in 1990, and Tranta IT is it actually was founded in 2004, and with over 300 wonderful people. So you can see this one. We have over 350 IT highly IT trained engineer. So what this implies is that apart from the ManageEngine solution, we also sell support solutions. So we have our engineers spread across all the parastatals of banking industry, the insurance, the financial, and also the manufacturing industry. So we also have this also cut across the 36 states of Nigeria. And our SLA is about 99%, meaning that there's no downtime in terms of our support. Our clientele, we have about 24 blue chip companies that we are currently managing, that also apart from the ManageEngine, but also with the support solution. So this gives more like overview of the banking, the industry we covered over the years, and we cover our solution cut across financial, banking, government organization, and oil and gas and coal. So going back to the main point of today. So we actually focus on endpoint center, and this is because we have the series of challenges we've gotten from our end users as regards and security in their environment, and what has happened, and what intruders are trying to do in their environment. So we have adopted this endpoint center, and also the ManageEngine team also have done some modification on this solution just to ensure that it meets the end users requirements. So how unify endpoint, manage and secure, how unify endpoint management and security solution from ManageEngine Manager, what it does. So that's just what this slide is talking about. So we have the UEM editions. So it said a UEM edition solution. UEM solution provide end-to-end integration of the sorry, please. The UEM solution provide end-to-end integration of device management and endpoint. So you don't need to worry about any kind of third-party intruders in terms of our solutions. So integration, meaning that you don't have to worry about any kind of third party when it comes to your endpoint. It also increases the workforce productivity, right? So imagine having push passes to about 20,000 endpoints. Right? So with the help of this UEM solution, it's easier for you to push endpoint. It makes your work automated. And as a CIO of a company, it's easier for you to monitor what your team are using. So if you are a reseller, you want to sell ManageEngine Solution, say Endpoint Central. Those are the things that you push to the CIO, that this solution helps to make your job automated. Apart from every pushing patches, pushing OS down to endpoints, there are other things that your staff or your technical guys that are working on that you need to do. So what you in order for you to make them proactive and be effective in their job, then you have to introduce what we call this UEM solution. You should be endpoint solution, which help them to reduce their workload as far as doing other things at the same time, pushing patches, doing other IT activities. So that's what this solution is all about. And also the fact that it is ManageEngine Solution is also integratable. You can integrate the solution at ease, right? And once you have a solution where you can integrate with other solutions at ease, then it also gives it an opportunity for the end users to look out to get it. So most attackers are looking out for loopholes through which they can enter a client environment. But with the help of the UEM solution, it gives that high security and status of the solution in-house, thereby preventing the attacker from having access to the client environment. So I want to encourage us to just to put down your name and your email address so that we can be able to send the slide and also so the recording of this session to you. So you can just use your chat box to do that. You put down your emails, your name, and if possible, your company names. You can just send all the things that we've done today and also the slide and the recording. Thank you. So how Unified Endpoint Management Solution also aid an organization. So this is the selling point. So when you want to push this solution to an organization, these are the things that you look out for, right? Manage a diverse range of IT endpoints, including smartphones, tablet, laptop, desktop, smartwatches, smart TVs, and browsers across multiple OS. So with the help of this solution, you can actually manage endpoint across all these devices. There's some organization that uses smartphones for their daily activities. With the use of IT Unified Endpoint Solution, you'll be able to manage what is going on, what they are doing, at what point they are in a particular location. You can trace what they are doing. You can push patches. You can manage OS, and also you can do a lot of things. You can even restrict browser, right? You can restrict your users from having access to a particular URL so long you have the solution. So it makes you work smart and also prevent some intruders from having access into your environment. Also, the fact that you are issuing your staff a smartphone for their daily activity does not mean that it gives them opportunity to do whatever thing they want to do. So with this solution, you should be able to manage what they are doing and also track what they are doing. And that's just what this solution talks about. So when you are talking to your clients, these are the things that you should be telling them. These are the benefits of this solution, right? It protects data, block or allow apps, you understand, monitor threat and reduce the risk of corporate data leaks. So what this does again is that like the solution where we talk about the MDN. With MDN, you can achieve this whole functionality because with that, you'll be able to block your users from downloading a particular app, right? You want them to have, you want the smartphone that you have given to them to be used basically for the company activities, company job. So you wouldn't want them to start putting other apps and the rest of it. So you can set rules, you can set policy that this. So with this solution, you can achieve that. Automatically patch and update all your OS over 350 third-party applications. So without you just going manually to each of the endpoints, you can just start sending patches to all the endpoints at ease. So one, with this, your technicians will be very effective, and they will not be overworked, because now automatically they can send patches. In fact, they can even make the set timeline. It could be after the work hour, midnight in the day, where this patches will be sent to the endpoint. So with that, they can focus on other job activities. So these are the things that you should be telling your clients each time you're pitching this solution to them. Significantly reduce hardware and software expenses with timeline asset scan, software metry, and software licensing. So this solution also have the capability of trying to you call it depreciation value of your assets, right? Because it has an asset module that actually does your software licensing, it does your software metering, and also does your software scan. So you can know those assets that is due for replaced. You can know some assets that is assigned to a particular set of people. You can know when a particular loss, some organizations have over 250 or up to 500 software they are using in-house. So for you to get time and when this software is going to expire, with this solution, you can just get this at ease. You don't need to stress yourself, start trying to see if this software is going to expire in the next few minutes or something of such. So these are what the solution does. So I hear some people are find it difficult to join. We're going to resolve that. And also, apart from that, it monitors, manage, and troubleshoot issues faced by your remote workforce. So with Remote Access Plus of this solution, you can achieve this. You can monitor, manage, and troubleshoot issues faced by your remote workforce. So this solution has a functionality called Remote Access Plus that gives you ability to remote into all the endpoints and resolve issues. If it has to do with troubleshooting, you can also troubleshoot with the solution at ease. So integrate with different helpdesk solutions to perform endpoint management tasks from your helpdesk console, and also utilize single sign-on. So also with this solution, you can integrate. I said something of such earlier. You can integrate it with an helpdesk solution, right? In-house, we have an helpdesk solution called Service Desk Plus. You can also integrate the solution with it and also be able to achieve the government objective, as the company objective as regards endpoint monitoring. So regularly scan your network to detect and remediate vulnerability threats, misconfiguration, and high-risk software, because there are some vulnerability actually that is difficult for you to detect. But with this solution, it's easier for you to detect the vulnerability, because it has one functionality that actually does vulnerability management, which is also going to be treated today. So what I'm just trying to explain is that it's just like a summary of what you're going to get before the end of this session. Also, I just want you to notify you again. Kindly send your name of your company, your email, right, so that we can share the recording of this link session with you, and also some other information that you needed to be sent to you. This just your name. It could be your name or your company name, your email address. Then we'll forward the recording. So apart from all this, we also have unified endpoint, manage the aid of an organization. So this solution, what it does in terms of managing, and also in terms of management, endpoint management, and security of an organization. What this solution does is one is save time. Let me just put it that way. That's what this talks about. There's several hours of patch testing, installing by automating and customizing OS and third-party requirements. So with this solution, you can actually do a patch testing. So in the other solution that you can just push your patch down to the endpoint without even testing if this patch are actually okay okay for you to push down. So it has a feature where you have, we call it a test and approve, to which you can test and approve. You have to test the patches before you send it to the endpoint. You test and approve it, and also you can customize it. You can customize the patches and also customize the timeline through which the patches will be sent to the endpoint, right? It's also establish a zero trust environment with application-specific endpoint privilege management. So with this, also you can achieve a zero trust environment. Also, you can also manage access to this solution, right, through a password management tool. Boost productivity and block high-risk application by blacklisting them. Permit only trusted application by creating application whitelisted. So it has a functionality where you can blacklist application and also whitelist application. So this also comes in the feature of MDN, right? You can also blacklist an application, and also it gives you right to also create and also whitelist an application and customize it to the way you wanted it to be, right? Avoid data leak, data theft, and inside attack by monitoring and restricting the use of USB and other peripheral devices. So this functionality also helps you to avoid some important important information that a company does not want to go out. You know, when you give your staff workstation to use, whether they are working from home, right? So sometimes they might just be so careless and leave their workstations, and maybe they are doing other things. So some other people can just have access to this workstation because they see a particular file and they can use their USB devices to want to extract those data. But with the use of this solution, it prevents you from having access to that. Even when you can lock your USB ports. So with this solution, we have this in-house. You can't try to push out data. You know, sometimes when a staff wants to leave an organization, you start moving out some information that the company would not want to go out. So if you push this kind of functionalities to and the MD of a company or a CIO, I would bet you will want to get the solution. So those are the things that this solution achieves. Secure your network from browser-related attack by allowing access to only trusted website and by monitoring plugin and add-on. So this is what we receive from most of our clients, right? Instead of you focusing on your job activities, instead of you looking out for trying to achieve your KPI, you are busy opening Facebook in work hour. You are busy doing opening your Twitter account in work hours, and so in order for them to achieve effectiveness of their staff in terms of what they are to do in a daily, right? So with this solution, they will be able to achieve why for them to restrict users from having access to this social media and whatever website that they don't want them. Because sometimes some websites can actually give the hackers the access into the client environment. So in order for you to avoid all this, it's important for you to look out for a solution that can block or attack, that can stop the users from having access to having access to some website that could give the attackers room to come into the environment. So this, like I said, the solution is actually encompass endpoint management and endpoint security. So in our last session, what we did was basically on the endpoint management. So the endpoint management of the Endpoint Central focuses on MDN Mobile Device Manager Plus, Patch Manager, OS Deployer, Remote Access Plus, Patch Manager Plus, and also Patch Connect Plus. So these are the endpoint aspect of the solution. But in this session, we are going to focus on the security aspect of the solution, which is the endpoint security. We have the Vulnerability Manager Plus, Device Control Plus, Application Control, Browser Security, and so on. So this is what we are going to focus on, right, in this session of this webinar. And in order for us to have deep dive on this solution, I would want to introduce my colleague, Anuika. She's going to be the one to focus on that. Anika, kindly share your screen and proceed with this session, Endpoint Central. Thank you very much. So likely, as I said earlier, I request that you put in your company name and your email so that we'll be able to send the recording of this session to you, and also send the slide and all other things that needed to be sent at the end of this webinar. Thank you.
So thank you, Henry. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Enrico Manos. I'm the senior technical engineer for Transfer IT. So today we are going to be looking at the endpoint of security aspect of the Endpoint Central. Like he said, Endpoint Central is a UEM, is a unified endpoint management tool that comprises of endpoint management and endpoint security. So all the webinars we've been doing have been centered on endpoint management. That is, which includes the patch management, ensuring that all your systems are completely patched using the patch manager tool. So the MDM tool, the mobile device management tool for managing your mobile devices, the OS deployer tool for upgrading your lower OS versions to the higher OS versions, the inventory management of the Endpoint Central for managing your hardwares and softwares, for you to be able to know the hardwares available in your environment and the softwares available in your environment, and also for license management and restricting some software executables to be available in your environment. So we also have the software deployment, whereby you can use and distribute softwares across all the systems you are managing, all the endpoints you are managing. So the endpoints here means servers, laptops, your smartphones, your tablets. So that's what endpoint means. So we've been talking on the endpoint management. So today we are going to be looking at the endpoint security. So there's this diagram there that he showed earlier. So from here, you'll be able to see how it has been categorized, the endpoint management and the endpoint security. So under the endpoint security of the Endpoint Central, we have Vulnerability Manager Plus, we have the Device Control Plus, we have the Application Control Plus, and we have the Browser Security Plus. So what the Vulnerability Manager Plus does is that it helps to prioritize enterprise vulnerability management. So it will prioritize your vulnerability to show all the vulnerability available in your network. So from there, you'll be able to take an informed decision on what next to do. So you have the Device Control Plus. So the Device Control Plus is mostly for peripheral devices. If you want to manage your peripheral devices, such as your mouse, your keyboards, if you want to restrict them, if you want to allow them. So that's what Device Control Plus is all about. And we have the Application Control Plus, which is used to manage your applications in terms of whitelisting your applications, blacklisting your applications. If this person wants to have access to this application, he needs to request for it. So that's what the Application Control Plus is for. So we have the Browser Security Plus, which is used to manage your browser, or your browser. If you want to manage your downloads, the downloads from the browser, the kind of browser that you are making use of. So in essence, it's just to protect the company data, to ensure that there is no data loss in the company. And even if there is data loss, what can you actually do to prevent it getting to the outside world? So that's why endpoint security is actually very important. So in recap, Endpoint Central, formerly known as Desktop Central, is a unified endpoint management solution that helps in managing servers, endpoints, your smartphones and tablets, all from a central location. So you don't need to have different applications that you can use to manage servers or laptops or your smartphones. No. So with this Endpoint Central, you can all manage all these endpoints from a central location. And it can help you to automate your regular endpoint management routines, such as your installing of patches, or deploying software, imaging and deploying OS. So it also helps you to manage your asset and software licenses, monitor usage statistics, to monitor your software usage statistics, to actually know if this particular software that you're using is being used by the end user, so that it can't just be wasting money on licensing, whereas your users are not making use of the application. So it helps to monitor the software usage. It's called software metering. It can also help you to manage your USB devices, take control of remote endpoints and more. So it has a lot of functionalities. That is the Endpoint Central. But the main focus is the endpoint security. So the endpoint security is the process of protecting your various endpoints or devices that connect to a network or the internet. So you're just trying to protect all the data or the data from your endpoint that's being connected to the network or internet. So there will be no vulnerability, or there will be no data loss, because hackers is always everywhere now searching for a loophole to be able to enter into an organization. And they can enter into an organization through if your security is poor. So that's why this endpoint security is actually very important, for you to be able to restrict some functionalities of some endpoints, and from there you can be able to manage them properly. So attackers can exploit vulnerabilities in endpoints to gain access to sensitive data, to steal login credentials, or launch attacks against other parts of the network. So our experts recommended employing an effective endpoint security measures to safeguard against these threats and prevent data loss and breaches. So with endpoint security, you can protect your endpoint with vulnerability management, your browser security, your application control, anti-ransomware, endpoint DLP, intrusion detection and prevention systems, and BitLocker management tools. So all these that I mentioned are the features of So all these features are all these functionalities are the features of the endpoint security. Please, if you can you hear me? Please, if you cannot hear me, just drop it on the chat. Okay. So those endpoint security we talked about, or the features, they are add-ons for Endpoint Central. So when you want to get an Endpoint Central, so the features are not available on the dashboard. So you see it as add-ons. And these are available only on on-prem edition of the Endpoint Central. So it is not available on cloud. So we have the vulnerability management, we have the device control, we have the application control, we have the browser security, we have the BitLocker management, and we have the endpoint DLP. So the vulnerability management is much more like Patch Manager Plus. I know most of you are familiar with Patch Manager Plus, but it's with more security features now. So with this vulnerability management, you can be able to detect so many vulnerabilities available in your environment. Be able to tell you which ports are opened, the security misconfigurations that have been done in your environment. You'll be able to see all those there. So it's now left for the IT admin or whosoever that is in charge to take control or to take an informed decision on what's next to do when all those loopholes has been detected. So that's the difference from vulnerability management and Patch Manager Plus. So we have device control. So device control is solely for managing your peripheral devices. such as your keyboard, your mouse, your USB, so your CD and your CD-ROM or your drive. So that's what device control plus is all about, either for you to restrict or for you to allow. So you have for application control, for managing your applications, browser security, for managing your browser management. We have BitLocker management for encrypting your drives, and we have endpoint DLP for data, endpoint DLP. DLP means data loss prevention or data leak prevention. So these are the add-ons for the Endpoint Central, and they are only available on-prem. So for the vulnerability management, so these are the key features of the Vulnerability Manager Plus. So the vulnerability management, the solution is called Vulnerability Manager Plus. So it does vulnerability assessments. So once this has been onboarded, once you've onboarded your environment into the application or you've configured it in your environment, it's to assess your network to detect the vulnerability, to be able to show you the reports. What and what are missing, which configuration did you not configure very well, the ports that are open, if there is any web server hardening, if there's any antivirus. If there's no antivirus, it's going to flag it that at least you need to configure an antivirus in your environment. So all those are vulnerabilities. So it's going to do vulnerability assessment and it will come up with different reports for you. So the report you're going to get sometimes is security configuration management. So whereby you see all the security misconfigurations that have been done. For example, if you maybe enable the file or printer sharing in your environment. So you know, some file and printer sharing is only enabled when you actually want to install or deploy a software over the network. So maybe you opened that particular functionality and forgot to close it. So it's going to flag it as an error that this is a misconfiguration, that you need to take a decision or an action on it immediately. So it's a misconfiguration in the network. So there are also other misconfigurations that can be found when a vulnerability assessment is being done in your environment. So we have 0-day vulnerability mitigation. So this we help to reduce, to ensure there is no 0-day vulnerability available in your environment. So it also helps in web server hardening, high-risk software auditing. It will show you all the software that are high risk, and from there you can either work on it or you can take the better informed decision on that. So high-risk software, the ones that have expired, software that have reached end of life, software that needs to be patched. So you'll be able to see all those reports from there. It will show you antivirus auditing too. So you'll be able to see all the antivirus available in your environment. It will show you the computers that have the antivirus configured on them or not. So you'll be able to see all those reports. Then at the last report you can get, or the functionality of the vulnerability management, is the port auditing. So you know, port auditing, leaving your ports open is very, very vulnerable to your environment, because attackers from there can be able to penetrate into your environment. So it will show you the list of ports available, whether they are open or not. It will even show you whether they are TCP ports or. So it's going to show you to classify the ports based on their protocol. So you'll be able to see the port auditing there and generate the reports, either PDF, a CSV, or Excel. So from there, you know what next to do. So that's for vulnerability management. So another functionality or feature of the endpoint security is the device control. So the device control is solely for peripheral devices. So it helps you to manage your device and port control. It also helps for file access control, who have access to this particular file and who doesn't have access to this particular file. It also helps you in file transfer control, trusted device list. So this trusted device list means devices that doesn't need any permission to perform any action in your environment. So we have the temporary access. So the temporary access devices means devices that maybe a particular user wants to make use of a printer, wants to print a document from the printer. So he needs to raise a request. The IT admin or whoever the administrator that's in charge needs to give him an OTP that he can use to print out that document. He can't just go straight and print out the document. So he needs to request for it. That's temporary access. So, but any devices that is classified as a trusted device list doesn't need such approval. So this ensures that only known or trusted devices can be able to function fully in your environment. And if there is any, maybe a vendor or an expatriate in your environment that is just going to stay for a limited time, a temporary access can be granted to such user, and you can device control clause can be able to access that, can be able to perform all those. So it's also does file shadowing. File shadowing is much more like backing up your file. So that's what file shadowing is all about, backing up your file and storing them in a very secure repository. So it will help you to back up all the files in your USB and store them in a secure repository. Then file tracing, there's another functionality called file tracing, which helps you to trace all those files, to monitor all those files or from your USB or from all those peripheral devices, and for you to locate where they are and where they are and all the actions performed on them. So these are the functionalities of the device control plus. So if you have any questions while I'm presenting, you can drop them on the chat. So that's when I'm through, I can be able to look at it and answer them. Thank you. So the next functionality of the endpoint security is the application control. So the application control is a very, it's not a complex application. So what the major thing it does is application whitelisting and blacklisting, whether to allow this particular application in your environment or whether not to allow this particular application in the environment. So how it works is that once you've already set it up, it will scan all the computers in your environment to detect the softwares installed on them. So once those softwares have been detected, you'll be able to look through all the softwares available and you can blacklist all those applications, or you can leave them. Leaving them means you are allowing them. So once you've blacklisted them, and anytime a scan has been done and that particular blacklisted software pops up, is going to, based on your configurations, you can uninstall the software automatically without the new user knowing, or you can just, once it has been scanned and the system detects the blacklisted application, a notification will be sent to the administrator for further engagement. So solely that's what application control is all about. Blacklisting and blocklisting. Blacklisting and allowing. So it also helps in endpoint privilege management and you requesting access for a particular application for you to be used for a particular period of time. So the next is the browser security. So the browser security is another functionality of the endpoint security of the endpoint central. So it helps you to manage all your browser. So we have the browser security is for managing your browser, solely for managing your browser, web filtering, if there's any URL you want to blacklist. So it does web filtering, it does download filter. If you want to restrict download from your browser, if you want to allow download from your browser, then if you also want to upload from your browser, so you can actually restrict or allow all this. Your browser routing, your Java rules manager, your browser customization, how you actually want your browser to be customized, your browser lockdown, and your browser compliance. So it does solely browser management. Your web content filtering, your download filter, if you want to allow download from your browser, maybe any browser type, or if you want to allow upload, if you want to also or restricted using the browser security. I saw some people raising up their hands. If you have any question, can you please ask them? Or you can drop them on the chat so that I can attend to them. Thank you. So another functionality of the endpoint security is the BitLocker management. So the BitLocker management helps you to encrypt your hard drives for prevention against theft. So you can encrypt and decrypt. So that's the sole functionality for encrypting your hard drive. So anytime you want to decrypt it, a particular token will be presented by the admin. From there, you can decrypt your drive. So it's enable data storage only in BitLocker encrypted devices in order to protect sensitive corporate data from theft. And also monitor BitLocker encryption and TPM status in all managed devices. So we have our endpoint DLP as another functionality of the endpoint security. So what the endpoint DLP does is like data leak prevention or data loss prevention. So it's designed to protect sensitive data on managed endpoint devices from data disclosure and theft by leveraging advanced data loss prevention strategies, which include detecting and classifying data as well as defining rules from authorized usage and secure transmission. So with this endpoint DLP, you can secure your endpoint either through your emails, your cloud upload. You can restrict what can be done on the cloud. You can restrict what can be done via your email. You can also put a stringent rules on your peripheral devices, and you get an instant alert and extensive audits anytime a particular event occurs in that application or in your environment. So for example, let me take an email or the secure email collaborations as an example. Maybe you are making use of Outlook and you don't want the user to take a screenshot of the Outlook or maybe snip the interface. So if you put a rule that you don't want any screenshot or snip to happen, anytime a user tries to perform such action, it will not allow him or her to actually achieve that, because there is a rule already in the background that restricts them from having a screenshot of such email. So this helps in making sure that the company data doesn't get to the outside environment. So same for cloud upload. So in terms of uploading a particular document in any of the cloud, so you can restrict all those actions using the endpoint DLP. Same for the peripheral devices. If you want them to be making use of your USB, their CD-ROM, their hard drive, and the rest. So those are the functionalities or the actions you can take while you make use of the endpoint data loss prevention. Please, if you have any questions with regards to the endpoint security, you can type it on the chat, or you can ask or raise your hand up so that I can see you. Hope you're all with me. So while waiting for your questions, I'll just summarize what the endpoint central management at the ManageEngine endpoint management tool. So Endpoint Central is a unified endpoint management tool that helps you to manage your servers, your laptops, your mobile devices, your tablets, all from a central location. So it's classified into two, the endpoint management and the endpoint security. Let me go back to that diagram. So we have up to more than 10 or 11 applications in one. So the main application is called Endpoint Central, but it's being divided into Endpoint Management and Endpoint Security. So the Endpoint Management includes the Mobile Device Manager Plus, the Patch Manager Plus, the OS Deployer, the Remote Access Plus, your RMM Central, this for managing your So this for managing your endpoints and your network. The RMM is for managing your endpoints and your network devices. So you have your Patch Connect Plus tool for updating the patches in your endpoints. So we have the Vulnerability Manager Plus for the endpoint security, the Vulnerability Manager Plus, the Device Control Plus, the Application Control Plus, the Browser Security Plus. So the endpoint DLP is not in this diagram. So all these functionalities of the Endpoint Central can actually act as a standalone tool. So you don't need to get Endpoint Central as an application for you to be able to, maybe if you want the patching aspect, you don't need to get Endpoint Central as a whole for you to be able to perform the patch. You can just go for the Patch Manager Plus. If you are looking at just the Vulnerability Manager Plus, you want to detect the vulnerabilities available in your environment, you don't need to go for the whole suite of an application. You can just go for the Vulnerability Manager Plus only. Or if you want to manage your browsers, if you want to restrict some policies in your browsers, you can go for Browser Security Plus. So all these functionalities that I talked about can act as a standalone, and they can also come at a suite of an application called the Endpoint Central. Please, is there any questions? So if there's no questions, I would like to hand over to Henry for him to continue with the rest of the presentation. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Anrika, for that insightful presentation. Okay, so like she said, the Endpoint Central is a bundle solution, and their bundle solution. So most times the client might not need all the functionalities that is in Endpoint Central, but they might want to go for one of those functionalities. So it's opportunity for you to also sell a standalone solution, which might be, if it is they want patches to be, they want their patches to be updated at all time, then we might have to propose the Patch Manager Plus as a standalone solution. Okay, so this solution is one of the highly requested solution from our partners and also from our end users, right? So the good thing about this solution is that because it's 5-in-1, all right, if you are selling this solution, the turnaround, then I mean the ROI of this solution is very, very high, meaning that just selling one of these solutions, you can as well meet your target for at least for the quarter, because it comes with a 5-in-1 solution. And looking at it, it can meet the client environment. You can just more than one request. Just this solution can do as people used to say in the normal language, they call it boboleche, that you can do most, I mean, all the things that the client might want to achieve with just one solution. So it's an opportunity for you to push this solution to your client and also get your ROI increased. So then what next? So we just usually have this session each time we have a webinar, just because we have most of our partners that are joining in newly, so they might want to get informed as regards our engagement process. We always want to share our success story as regards ManageEngine. As being the OEM, the distributor, we have our success story as regards it, and we've been able to use these metrics to achieve our goals in the last few years. So how do we achieve these goals? We ensure that we get the pain of the client, right? As a partner, you are supposed to reach out to your client, get their pain, get what they want to achieve. It's not like just you selling a solution, or you don't wait for the partner or the end users to start sending requests to you, right? I want to make you understand that if an end user send a request to you that they want to get a particular solution, be informed that this end user would have scoped this solution. They would have scoped it with a particular vendor. So why not be the person that scope, so that you have advantage of getting the deal closed? So you don't wait for an end users to send an RFQ to you. You have to go down to the end users, try to get their budget, try to get what they want to achieve in the coming year, try to see their pain and propose a solution that will be used to resolve their pain. So in doing that, you are putting yourself ahead of other vendors. So how do we come to the level which we have as a gas ManageEngine? We ensure that we do proper scoping with the client, right? When it gets to the time when the client wants to start their budgeting, we reach out to them. What is your budget like for next year? What are those places? What are those areas that you want to spend on IT? We ensure that this is noted, and we propose solutions. We get the financial commitment of that solution. We share it with the client, and they have it already in their repository, just for them to know what they want to achieve for the coming year. And once this is done, we ensure that we log it in. So as a partner, you reach out to a client, you've discussed with the client, you've done every discussion as regards the opportunity and everything, what you can propose to them. Then you log it into on our deal registration portal. So once this is logged in, it is easier for us to protect your deal. But once you don't log your deal, you are talking to a client, we in here, we are not aware. What if tomorrow another vendor now reach out to us and tell us that they want to sell to that client? We wouldn't have any option than to treat their request. But if the partner that is in charge of that client has already registered and logged it in on the deal registration portal, it is easier for us to let them know that with evidence that the partner is already working on this deal. So how do you relate with your client? First, you get their pain. Then you get their pain, look at the solution that you will use to resolve their pain. And then you share a proposal. A proposal on that solution will be shared to the client. And while sharing the proposal, let them know that there is an opportunity for them to have demo on this solution. So we don't charge for the demo. We don't charge for the POC. They are all free. Once this is done, you register your deal. Once you register your deal, then there's what we call a questionnaire. We use that questionnaire to scope for every solution of ManageEngine. You can reach out to me, request for a questionnaire. Once you send it to the client, they just have to fill it. Once they fill it, you can get the costing. So then when you get the costing, the client will be aware of the financial commitment or the financial cost of the solution. So they will want to go to the next level. If it is something that can cover their budget for that quarter or for the year, they will want to proceed for POC. So our POC is free. It's 30 days. So imagine offering a client or your client a 30 days free of the solution, right? You don't need to say much. All you just need to do, just allow me to do a 30 days free of the solution, and you get to decide what you want to do next. We are not charging you for that. Just reach out to us that you want your client want to have a demo or a POC on this solution. We'll be glad. Once POC is done, then the client will want to, once they are able to get value of the solution in the cost of using the solution in-house, right? I believe that they will want to issue PO, right? They might not even want to issue the PO immediately. It could be even after 3 months. But mind you, they have already used the solution in-house, and they don't even need to speak with you after that 3 months. They just have to reach out to you and tell you that, okay, we want to proceed on the solution. Kindly evaluate your code. So these are the things that you do. You understand? And for the partner that have sold to their client, you don't have to stay and wait till when they want to get next solution. Reach out to them and tell them that there are other things that you can get apart from this one you just bought, right? ManageEngine Solution, you can integrate it. That's the thing about ManageEngine Solution. You don't need to go outside looking for other solution for the client. With ManageEngine Solution, you can integrate this solution at ease, and it's something that is easier for you to do, right? Even if you cannot do, it's easier for us to do, right? So don't wait for your client to reach out to you. Reach out to them, sell. Take ownership of the account. Take ownership of every account that you manage, right? Sometimes I have a partner that just with a particular account, right? What she gets from ManageEngine alone from that account in a year is close to 70 million, right? Why? Because after selling this solution, she proposed other solutions. So for ManageEngine, when it talks to talk about ManageEngine in this client, they always want to focus on this vendor, right? So why am I not getting deal closed? That is the question you should be asking. It's not in the hands of the channel manager. It's not in the hands of Counter IT. It's in your hands. All you just need to do, just follow these rules, right? Follow these rules. When you want to engage your client, always ensure that you have registered this deal. Mind you, if you have not registered a deal, it's difficult for you to close it, right? If you get an RFQ from your client, let me assure you that somebody would have scoped for that RFQ, right? Somebody would have scoped for that RFQ. And the metric is that once you register a deal, it is easier for you to get discount than the person that did not register it. You don't expect us to give a discount to a client, to a reseller that does not really know about how the solution come about, right? We want to ensure that you that is selling ManageEngine Solution, you are getting benefit for this solution. You are also making profit. You can't just, I understand sometimes something would have been factored in for the end users, right? In terms of what they want to give to the client, the CIO or the head of IT as gift, and all this comes at the end of the day after you've made profit. And what if you don't make a good profit? How would you be able to achieve all this? And so that is the reason why it's important for you to register your deal so that we protect your deal and also give you a better quote, right? We also give you a better quote. So always know that every deal that is every RFQ that is sent to you, somebody one way, a partner one way would have scoped for it. So if you don't scope for a deal, it will be difficult for you to close it because you don't know the nitty-gritty of what has gone around in terms of that solution, right? So that's just what I want us to encourage us to do. So in terms of what you're going to get, you're going to share data sheets on this solution, brochure and demo link, and videos of any of the endpoint central solution, right? So we're going to share that with you. So also reach out to me at any time you want to get all this materials is available, right? And also we are available for any kind of demo. Just give us a 24 hours to 48 hours notice. We will be available and we'll be happy to treat your request at any time, right? So I want to encourage us to use the deregistration portal. Is very, very key. The deregistration portal helps us to manage pipelines. It also helps us to manage our resellers deals, right? We don't want to get to the point where a partner is on a particular account and somebody else has got the account, the deal. It's not encouraging. You cannot go and fish for a solution and somebody else has got this deal. So it's important for you to register it. Let us know that you are the one working on it. And if somebody has already been working on it, we will let you know that someone is already working on this solution. I have cases where a partner have registered implementation, we've done demo. We're supposed to start the POC when the client now did not really show more interest, right? After like say 7 to 8 months, the client now requests for another demo and POC from another reseller, right? From another reseller. So I have to contact the previous reseller. Are you aware that these guys are going ahead to conduct a POC with another vendor? It was the reseller that told me that please let them go ahead. I don't think they are serious. You understand? That's the way you put it. I don't think they are serious. So they might be serious with another partner. They might not be serious with you. But one thing is sure, once you have registered a deal that you are running or you are about decide not to go ahead. Once they want to go ahead and they come to another partner, we are assuring you that we're going to get back to you and let you know that this client wants to go ahead and with this partner. So even if they want to decide, right? So Amaka, someone is asking a question here. You say, how can you explain how it helps to manage ransomware?
Okay, so can you explain how it helps to manage ransomware? So the application also helps in making sure ransomware didn't get to your systems by making sure that your systems are always up to date and other restrictions are in place. Other restrictions are in place, such as those downloads from the cloud and uploading to the cloud. So, downloads from the cloud, you can download a particular document and you don't even know that that particular document is a ransomware. So it helps, those restrictions are put in place so that all this ransomware doesn't get hold of your environment. And also ensuring that your systems are always patched using the Vulnerability Manager Plus. So once your systems are always patched, so the ransomware cannot find a way into your environment. But leaving your systems vulnerable, it is always very easy for them to be present in the environment. So that's how the endpoint security can be used to manage ransomware. You have to ensure that it ensures that all your systems or all your endpoints are patched and all the vulnerabilities available in your environment are being detected so that you can take an actions on them immediately. And also you can restrict the downloads from the cloud and it can allow some downloads from the cloud. So that's how you can be able to manage the ransomware. Is that well understood?
Okay, so thank you very much, Amaka, for that. I want to encourage us because that's the basic of this webinar is for us to be encouraged and on how to set the solution. So the question comes in now: how do I sell ManageEngine solution to my customer that have another endpoint solution? What set of ManageEngine solution apart from what set ManageEngine solution apart from other solution? That's a very good question. So now the endpoint central solution, like I said, for ManageEngine is a 5-in-1 solution. It comes in bundle, right? Why others does not come? They can just focus on just patches or mobile device management. But one good thing about the endpoint center of ManageEngine solution is a bundle solution. It comes in a bundle. It tweaks more than one request, right? So, that's what you should be pushing to your client. You're just getting the solution, not just for you to update your patch. It does remote access. It does MDN, that is monitoring of your mobile device, endpoint security, just as the vulnerability clause. You can imagine a solution, a solution having all these functionalities in one. You cannot see an endpoint management solution that has all this encompassed. Rather, you have to get one and add one and add one and add one at the end of the day. You start integrating. But for ManageEngine Endpoint Central, you don't have to integrate it. You just have all this in a single console. You have everything. And one good thing about ManageEngine Solution again is that it is very, very affordable, right? Compared to any kind of other solution. It's not that expensive. And also, another advantage you have is that you can integrate it, right? It is integratable, right? Because you have other solutions through which ManageEngine offers that you can integrate. But imagine having to buy an endpoint solution from another firm, and the client wants to get an help desk solution. So you start looking for other solutions to integrate with that endpoint solution. But one advantage you have for ManageEngine is that having gotten the endpoint central, you can also integrate it with help desk solution of ManageEngine. So you don't need to go far. You just a plug and play integration. That's just how it works. And the fact that the now an household name. When I mean an household name, right? We have 90% of the financial institution using this solution, right? We have the manufacturing industry using this solution. Also, the industries that actually does more of that have more endpoints, right? I might not want to mention name, but when your client wants a reference, it's something we can give you this at ease, right? We have numbers of number of Apex companies, right? Blue chip companies that have used and they are currently using this solution. So that's that's the take home for anybody that wants to sell ManageEngine.
And also to add to what Henry just said, so in terms of patching, ManageEngine can do Microsoft patching and other third-party applications, unlike the competitor, the SCCM or WSOS. So they only do Microsoft patching. But for ManageEngine, you can patch Microsoft updates. You can even patch Linux updates and other third-party applications. So that's also an added advantage. And it supports the 3 operating systems, the Mac OS, the Linux OS, and your Windows operating system. So you can manage these 3 operating systems using ManageEngine Endpoint Central. So that's an added advantage to it.
All right, thank you very much, Amaka, for that addition. So I have a question from Mr. Joseph. Can I use ManageEngine solution on non-IT asset of an organization? Yes, you can do that with asset manager solution, right? So we have an asset manager solution which is called Asset Explorer, right? And it's also embedded in our help desk solution, which is the Service Desk Plus, right? If you are getting the Service Desk Plus, the professional edition, it has asset management in it, right? So if you want to manage your IT assets, your non-IT asset of an organization, you just have to get a Service Desk Plus professional edition, right? The management of non-IT asset is not even coming at a cost. That's one good thing about it, right? If you want to manage your IT assets, let me come down to this level. If you want to manage your IT assets and also want to get the appreciation value of this asset, you want to know who this asset is assigned to and who is managing this asset, who is using this asset at every given point of time. We have a solution that can do that, the Asset Explorer. The Asset Explorer is asset management solution. We have this Asset Explorer also in an help desk solution that we said, the Service Desk Plus. It's also embedded in this solution. With this, you can monitor your IT and non-IT assets. And good thing about it is that your non-IT asset is not actually charged. So maybe you have a non-IT asset which comprises your table, shares, and the rest of it. You can get this solution without even at no cost. So that's the good thing about it. And it comes in cloud and also on-prem. So somebody this endpoint central. Let me just ask that question. How is it be like? How can you license it? So it is licensed based on number of endpoints. Like my colleague rightly said, the endpoint is your server, your laptop, mobile device, and the rest of it. Right? Those are your endpoints. So the number of endpoints and the number of admins. Admins means the person that is sitting on the solution. So it could be true admin that will be sitting on that solution in the client environment. And the number of assets could be like 50. By the time you do a count, it can be 50 or more than, right? So we have this license in that two ways. Number of assets, and the number of admin. And it could come in cloud and also in on-prem, right? Good thing for you to know about it is that it will come in cloud, it will come in on-prem, right? And also we can sell a subscription license and a perpetual license of this software, right? It could be subscription, and it is subscription, meaning that you'll be buying it every anniversary year, you'll be renewing it. But a perpetual license means that it will just come one off. So all you just need for you to do is for you to get your AMS, which is AMS certificate, that you upgrade the license yearly. Can you provide a certificate and soft copy of the document after the event? After even, I can't really get this. Please, can you provide a certificate and soft copy of the document? We can share this with you. All we just asked you right now is that kindly share your email. Share your emails with us and your name, right? It could be the name of your company or your personal name. Just share your email and your name. We're going to send a soft copy of this solution. We have everything that you need. We have a proposal on this solution. We have a data sheet, and also we can send the link of this. We will send the link. Let me put it that way. We send the link of this session to you at the end of this session. We're going to send that. You might be getting that first thing Monday morning. We're going to get that. But even if you feel like you need it also urgent, you can reach out to me directly. My email is channel@trantait.com. So the channel does not have S, it's just channel@trantait.com. You can send a mail to me that you want a soft copy or any of these ManageEngine solutions, and without even waiting to when they send the video recording and every other things to you. But I want to assure you that you get all the recordings. So let me go to other slide, other questions. So I don't think I have any other questions here. I want to assume that there's no further questions as regards what we get to know about this solution. So while we wait for your questions, okay, I think there's just one right now. Yes, it's channel. It says you confirm again. Channel, right? CHANNEL, channel @trantait-it.com. Channel@trantait-it.com. Channel that, yes, correct. Damilola. Channel@trantait-it.com. So channel@trantait-it.com. So send your emails to me. I'll be glad to tweet your request. Please drop your emails. We have a few minutes to end this session. All right, so I guess we don't have any further questions, right? So I want to thank every one of us for joining this session. Is one of the key sessions that we planned for this year, because this solution is very, very important. Most organizations are requesting for this, right? We have some partners that have sold. I want to encourage you to do the same, right? And also, apart from this session, we'll be having other session. ManageEngine will be coming down to Nigeria, and this invite will be sent to you. This should be a physical event, right? We have that in Lagos, we have that in Abuja. So we'll send you an invite as regards this. Because ManageEngine want to see all the we want to see all the vendors. I also want to have interaction with all the vendors that are selling ManageEngine Solution. That's the partners in Nigeria. So we will inform you when it's time for that. I believe that should be coming in in June. We should be having that ManageEngine guys in Nigeria. All right. So let me just give Anrika the last she's portion to say something before we end the session.
So like my colleague has said, ManageEngine Endpoint Central is a very interesting tool that needs to be in almost all the organization's environments. They're very, very interesting tool. Like 90% of the commercial banks and all the big organizations have this application installed in their environment, and they are enjoying the application. So, and if you pitch the application using the right functionalities, it's going to capture the client, capture the client's mind. So endpoint management and endpoint security are also part of the endpoint central ManageEngine application. So it does endpoint security, it does endpoint management. So that's all. So if you are looking at knowing more on the application, you can reach out to us. Henry has already provided his email address. So you can just send a mail to him and we'll be able to attend to you based on your request. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Anrika, for that. Also, we want to thank you. We want to thank you once more for this opportunity to giving us the time to join you. We also want to let you know that you are very, very important to us as our partner, right? So let us know anytime you want to reach out to your clients as regards this solution. We are open to help you pitch this solution. We are interested in your growth. We want you to increase. We want you to increase your ROI, and we believe that once you sell a ManageEngine solution and you make profit from it, you want to sell such to other clients. So let us know when you want us to go and pitch to your client. Let us know when you want us to reach out to your client and pitch for them. We understand that it's not all the functionality that you understand properly. We know that it's not all. But we know that while you attend this training over time, you get to understand and to know how to pitch the solution. But meanwhile, you can also learn from the way we pitch to your client when we are presenting to your client. That's what what other partners have used to get to the level where they are currently, right? You can reach out to me for a special training with your sales team, right? If you want your sales team to have understanding of this solution, reach out to me. We can schedule a date. We'll have the training on each of the solution separately, apart from adding other partners, right? So at this point, I want to call close this session. Thank you very much. Thank you, the panelists. Thank you, my crew that are working on all this from the back end. Thank everyone for the effort put in so far for this webinar. We want to also thank our partner that have joined. We wish you a pleasant weekend ahead and have a lovely day. Thank you for joining. We want to start getting your request after which. Bye-bye for now.